Hey guys, it's Charlie. It's the 8th of October, Friday. The UK Telegraph headline says it all. US job losses drives market higher on stimulus hopes. I pulled this article off of Zero Hedge, and his title of it was Britain finally realizes we're a banana, or admits we're a banana republic. And if you read into this story, it gives you the hard and plain truth, which is, now we have a market that is driven by the hopes of crony capitalism, of the Federal Reserve stepping in and giving even more bailouts and more stimulus. And I want to talk about the bailouts a little bit because, I know it's a subject that we go over and over on this channel and on the radio show, but that is the key event in October of 2008 that has led to where we are now. The government came out last week saying that the total TARP is only going to cost us $50 billion as taxpayers. And even if that were true, that's outrageous. Why are we spending $50 billion to pay off a bunch of criminals? And truly, with what we see now going on in the mortgage markets, where probably in the next week or two we're going to see a complete halt to foreclosures by all banks in this country because of their own greedy, fraudulent practices of approving loans without verifying income, or approving foreclosures without even having a document that was signed by the person that got the mortgage in the first place. So fraud is running rampant in the banking system. It's coming to light now. There's no way to account for how much assets we're talking about, because the banks don't have to use mark-to-market accounting practices. We suspended that to save free market capitalism. We suspended one of the rules of free market capitalism, which is you have to be honest with the assets you're holding. You have to be honest with the public so they know how the health of your company is. Now we have years of foreclosures. This year alone, we're going to have over 1 million foreclosures, and all of them have to be looked at again now. Will this throw the final death nail into the economy of this country? Who knows? I mean, the economy's dead to begin with. I'm hoping, if anything, it sheds light on the criminal enterprise that is the banking system in this country. But back to this article from the UK Telegraph. It's showing that the jobless numbers today being horrible, 95,000 jobs lost in the economy. That's 20 times higher than the than the Wall Street Journal predicted. They predicted we'd lose 5,000 jobs in the month of September. 20 times higher. This news sparked the Dow to go over 11,000 points today. Why? Obviously, it isn't because Americans are back to work. And it isn't the meager number of jobs created in the private sector, 75,000 jobs, not even half the jobs needed to keep up with population growth in this country. The reason it sparked a rally on Wall Street, or a close over 11,000 on the Dow, was very simple. Crony capitalism is working here. We're going to see the Federal Reserve now, at least they anticipate this, we're going to see the Federal Reserve directly after the elections in November or sooner go ahead and say they're going to continue with quantitative easing. They're going to continue to bail out their friends on Wall Street and bail out the banking sector to make them healthy and whole again. And that's causing the Dow to rally. The fact of the matter is, if we look at the last 3 months, 64,000 jobs created in the private sector in September, 93,000 in August, and 117,000 in July. Any one of these months do not equal enough jobs to account for the population growth of that month. So we're still adding it's a negative rate of job creation in the private sector. And what have we spent to get to this point? Not 700 billion like we had in the original Financial Terrorist Act Hank Paulson pulled on this country. We're into the trillions now. And again, I go back to the mortgage meltdown we're having again in this country, because we're finding out not only were the banksters the first to step up and ask for the bailout so their debts could be made our debts, but now we're finding out they were criminal, fraudulent, in issuing these loans in the first place. So the old argument, the tired old argument that you'll see on the mainstream media and by the far right-wing conservatives, so-called conservatives, who want to come out and have you mad at your neighbor because they took on more than they can afford. They want to blame everything on the people of this nation. And the reality of it is, the truth is coming out now. We're seeing the banks were fraudulent in issuing paper to begin with. Now they're fraudulent in accounting for that paper. You know, we don't know what the values of all these mortgages are because they don't have to follow free market capitalist rules anymore. They suspended the free market capitalist system in order to save it. So we have crony capitalism letting them mark to model instead of mark to market. They've issued millions of foreclosures in the last couple of years, and now every one of them need to be relooked at. This could be the death nail of this fictitious, phony recovery. Stories are attached. That's all I got.